The song goes like this.
Hey, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. Welcome to Trial and Error, where I play the first part of a game or a game demo. Usually do so pretty badly and give you my thoughts along the way. This time I'm taking a look at Doom. Now, I suck at shooters, but when I find the rare one that I can play through and somehow get through the game from beginning to end, at least on easy mode, I really enjoy the experience. I love the first-person perspective and just kind of exploring worlds. Games like BioShock and Singularity, and now the Far Cry games, in most cases, are easy enough for me to get through on the easy difficulty, and I really enjoy all that the game has to offer. But, you know, I still shy away from a lot of shooters because even on their easiest difficulty, they're just too hard for me. I just suck at games despite loving them so much. So what I'm really hoping for with Doom is to have enough kind of RPG-ish type elements, maybe some upgrading and grinding that's possible, and an easy enough difficulty level that I can get through it and enjoy exploring this crazy world that they've created. If you're curious about my thoughts on like whether or not Christians can play a game like this, I've put a couple of videos up. One, can Christians be evil in entertainment or maybe games? I can't remember. I think I said, can Christians be evil in games? I'll try to put that link up for you. And then also, is Doom too evil for Christians to play? Which is a video I put up when they first revealed this game at E3. And I'll maybe be sharing a few thoughts that'll echo what you would see in those videos as I play this game, but for my expanded thoughts on those subjects of being evil in a video game, and specifically whether or not Doom is too evil for Christians to play, you can check out those videos. Alright, let's get into it. Here we go. Move into close range, and when the highlight turns orange, press, I'm assuming that's R3. Yeah, the point size should be a little bit bigger, I think. Glory killing demons will always drop health. Glory kills, that's an interesting term for like a extra gory or something, I guess. Animated kill. It's weird, I'm not used to shooters moving like this, like I'm on wheels, but I think it's like old school shooters used to be, which I never played. That's gross. Oh! Oh man! Where'd he go? Oh, there they are. Oh! You know what? I'll bet they're just gonna keep spawning, aren't they? Where am I supposed to go? Echo? Is that where I'm supposed to go? What the heck is an echo? That's some kind of military thing I don't know about? What's the little diamond thing mean? Objective. Oh, okay. So I don't know what the echo was. That was weird. Hey! Oh, okay. I'll go over and kill you then. Oh! Oh, glory! Kill. Oh man, my health is not doing so hot. Okay. I understand. I understand that I'm having trouble. I want to know what happens when I die, though. Glory! I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright. Is the map, I think the map is kind of being revealed as I travel. Oh, dang! Look at that! Oh, that's cool! So, what, they're gonna reveal, like, the whole world eventually? And I can look at it in 3D? That's pretty cool. Find the blue access key. Okay. Yeah, some of these concepts are a little bit familiar to me because I own the Doom board game and the expansion for it, which is really hard to come by now. Very expensive if you buy it on eBay. It's long out of print. But they had key cards and stuff in that game, too. This game really, I mean, it looks beautiful. So I know I'm like, these are supposed to be demons, but I mean, they really just look a lot like aliens to me. And my understanding of, you know, just from my limited exposure to the Doom mythos through the board game, is that these aren't necessarily demons from hell or something. You know, they're just kind of like, they could just as easily be nicknames or, you know, what people are calling them for lack of a more accurate name to describe them. I mean, I don't know what a demon looks like. I mean, as far as biblically, demons are seem to be more like extra-dimensional beings rather than, like, physical beings. They can take physical form, I assume, like, because they're fallen angels, and angels can do that. But I get the impression from Scripture that their natural state is a spiritual state, a non-physical state, which is maybe operating on a different dimensional plane, you know, as opposed to the four that we operate in. Height, width, depth, and time. So, I mean, if somebody, you know, didn't want to play a game that had demons in it, which I don't think there's a problem with, but I mean, if somebody did have a problem with that, I think you could look at this and say, okay, well, that's kind of what they're calling them, but we don't know what these are, some kind of weird alien life. They certainly don't match, like, the biblical description of demons. Oh, hey! Oops, I killed him before the glory came to me. So far, the easy difficulty seems like very doable for me. I haven't died yet, though. I'm very curious what happens when you die. If you get set back a bunch, I hate having to repeat material in a game because of death. Hate it. Hey, what's down here? Hey! Ah! Alright, so now we'll find out what happens when you die. I am not happy with the load times. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So there must have been a checkpoint that I didn't notice. Oh, my armor's back down to 0, though. Combat support drone. Huh. Oh yeah, there were drones in the expansion for the Doom board game. Cool. This kind of makes me want to play the board game. Wow! I got all my health back from that one dude. What is this? Oh, jeez. I mean, my feeling so far is that, you know, I'm used to what I call, I guess, story shooters, like BioShock and Far Cry, that are a little less about literally just running and gunning, and so I'm kind of having to adjust to the gameplay flavor here. I mean, it looks really cool. All the monsters, I guess the color palette on them is pretty similar so far, and so I don't feel like I'm seeing a ton of variety. You know, there's tons of gore and stuff, but it's kind of like so over the top that I'm just kind of numb to it. And my guy, because he moves so smoothly, you know, it's not, I guess, kind of like, for lack of a better word, cinematic, like I'm kind of used to, you know, the camera kind of bouncing around a little bit. And so I don't identify as much with my first-person guy here. I don't identify as much as, you know, being in this world as I might say in, like, Far Cry or BioShock. So, you know, with the over-the-top gore that doesn't have any, like, weight or drama attached to it, added to the smooth nature of the movement and stuff, I mean, it feels very gamey compared to some of the other shooters that I enjoy. So I don't think that this game is probably going to be my cup of tea. I certainly don't see myself going out and buying this new, but I don't think I'm the target audience for this game. As far as the questions of, like, you know, should Christians play video games about, or any kind of game, you know, about going through hell and like a commando and fighting demons, you know, and just dealing with these really kind of dark spiritual themes. I keep coming back to 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and Romans 14, which I think give us instruction on how to interface with things that are created with evil intent. Now, I want to be really quick to say I don't think this game was made with evil intent, but let's just pretend for a moment the worst case scenario, that like the people who made this game, they want everyone to be Satan worshippers, you know? The context of 1 Corinthians 8 is there were concerns about Christians who were eating meat that had been sacrificed, prepared and sacrificed to idols, to pagan gods. And there was concern over whether or not Christians should be eating this meat because it would end up, the leftovers or whatnot would end up in the marketplace. And so there was concern, like, should we just avoid, you know, all the meat in the marketplace altogether? And Paul's response is basically, no, we understand that these other gods are false gods. And we understand the reality of the situation. We're not being fooled by this. And so it's fine to eat this meat no matter what it was intended for, provided it doesn't lead us into sin or lead others into sin in the process of eating that meat. And I think absolutely the same principle can be applied to an experience like this one. Especially since, you know, I mean, like I said, I was assuming for the sake of argument that, like, the makers of this game want people to worship Satan, you know, which is ridiculous to me. But even if that preposterous scenario were true, it would still be just fine for discerning Christians to play a game like this. provided they just remember what's true and what's real. I'm lost. Now, of course, you might also notice that in 1 Corinthians 8 and Romans 14, the idea is expressed that, if eating meat is going to cause your brother to stumble or is going to destroy his faith, then don't do it, and the context there is people that had previous experience sacrificing to idols, and so to them they would, if their conscience is still weak and they haven't really come to grips with the reality that really there is no God but Yahweh, then seeing you eat meat sacrificed to idols is going to make them think that worship of idols is somehow consistent with biblical Christianity. But anyway, the parallel to someone having previous experience worshiping idols might be someone who watches you play a game like this, or like Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, and it seriously freaks them out, and they feel like there's something really supernaturally evil that is happening here, and that there are demons supernaturally involved. I think we want to take care to not, when we're hanging out with people that are in that situation, be playing these kinds of games. But in Romans, I think it's 14 verses 15 and 16, right after saying in verse 15, don't destroy a brother's faith, basically, by what you eat. Right after that, he says, so don't let what is for you good be spoken of as evil. So, as believers, when we're faced with people who have concerns and maybe have come to some wrong conclusions about the ability of a believer to enjoy entertainment with dark supernatural themes and stuff like that, I think it's our responsibility to not just say, oh, okay, maybe you're right or whatever, or just shrug and keep playing, or just turn it off and not talk about it anymore. No, Scripture says, no, don't allow them to call something evil that you know to be good. We're just keeping them in ignorance and allowing them to be enslaved to just false ideas by not speaking up. The trick is we got to figure out how to have those conversations without them becoming heated and hurtful. I kind of wish it was scarier. I mean, it has some of the trappings of a game like, say, Dead Space, but it's not atmospheric enough to really scare me. It's very gamey. See, I'm a little bit bored playing this game, and you might say to yourself, well, just crank up the difficulty, but I mean, that's not where I want my tension to come from. I don't want my tension to come from, oh my gosh, I might die and have to repeat some material. That's just punishing to me. I'd rather my tension came from the atmosphere. Like, when I played some of Dead Space, I wasn't having a difficulty with the game itself, but it was a really freaky experience. And that's what made it tense for me, was the atmosphere of it. And I think that's what I would prefer. Boy, it takes kind of forever to kill these guys if you don't do a glory kill. Man! My finger's getting tired. Hey, what's up? Whoa! Good gravy. Yeah, the gore really loses power for me really quickly. It's kind of like when you hear an F-bomb way too many times in a movie, it just loses all of its power to dramatically affect the viewer. But, I don't think dramatically affecting the player is maybe on the top of their list of priorities. It's interesting, they do seem to be blending, like these kind of spiritual elements or supernatural elements, I should say, with science fiction. So in the minds of the creators of the game, these probably are supposed to be real demons. Despite the fact that they certainly don't match the biblical description of demons. Oh! Alright. I think I've seen enough. I obviously can't speak for anybody that's a fan of shooters or a fan of Doom, It's not scratching the itch that I would want, but that doesn't really say anything to most people, I suppose. I'd love to get thoughts from somebody who is a fan of these more kind of arena-type shooters, or these kind of gamey arcade, I don't want to say arcadey, but these gamey type of shooters, or fans of Doom. What is this meeting your expectations? Is this what you want? I'd love to get your thoughts in the comments below. And then I hope sometime you'll join us over at Christian Geek Central as we continue to geek out and seek the truth.
ChristianGeekCentral.com